Hello everyone, this is Scott from neelixation.com. Today I want to be doing something a little bit different, more targeted for webmasters. And when you're on the web and you're looking for a new theme, let's say you want to create a website, something off of Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr, Ghost, any main content management system, you're always going to get someone saying, oh, here's a list of the 150 best or most SEO optimized themes on the market. And when you click it, you're like, oh, okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to buy this new theme, and then my business is basically set up. It doesn't really work the way that people think it does. I'm here to tell you that most of the time those posts are just clickbait. Design Razzie, a very popular site, is very guilty of doing this. And I figure I want to go through and show you guys how to analyze a decent WordPress theme, and I want to show you what a good one looks like. I chose this one because I was considering it, and then I'm still switching between this one and another one that I'm considering getting for the new theme. And I want to show you why this is an ideal theme, and it's a decent one. And then I want to show you one that's not so good. Okay, as we come in, I should probably reload this, or cut off the frame. When you come in here, you get a very clean design, but we're not even going to look at the design aspect. Do you know why? Because of the fact that you'll be looking and targeting for the design. You want it to look good, and you have your own personal idea. This is a good layout in my eyes, but we'll probably have different opinions. What's more important is how we're going to check how the post is formatted with schema and the code. So I want to first jump onto the home page, and we're just going to view page source. And as you can see, it's very clean. There's not a lot of JavaScript files, not a lot of CSS files in comparison to a lot of heavier themes. It comes with built-in icon files, favicons for Apple devices, which is really good. And as we could see, a bunch of junk. So I'm just going to type in item prop and see if anything's marked up. Okay. So the URL, all item prop is used from schema. So if I tell it the item prop of this is it is a URL, then the browser's going to know, okay, this is a URL for something. And another good way of doing this, instead of going through and reading all this, is to go to Google Rich Snippet Validator. And we're just going to go, and I'm going to show you what it's like. So we come over here, and I'm just going to paste this URL in. This is the home page. You're going to get some microdata formatting, mostly because of the header that's there initially, but you won't see this on your actual page. Now, as you go through, you're going to see every single item that's in this list has been marked up with schema, so that way it can interpret it. All the articles that are listed, for instance these, they are all properly formatted with schema. So the search engine will know these are all articles. This is your home page. A lot of people say that you can't optimize your home page for schema, but this simply isn't true. It even has the rating schema to tell them that you had a review on there. You can optimize your home page, and it's based on the content that you display. The big misunderstanding is that people will say you can optimize your home page, but in actuality you can't. You just can't do it for a specific keyword. So this is a really well marked up page, and it doesn't have the publisher content because this is just a demo and they didn't set it up through a plugin like Yoast. As we can see, that's very well formatted, but that's not what we're caring about. We want to see what a post looks like. So we're going to click on, I want to do a review. Okay, so it's got review. It has an 8.8 out of 10. So if I right click and I'm going to copy this, I should have the review schema, and it has breadcrumbs. So I should have proper breadcrumbs in my preview. As we could see when we go through, Google will automatically keep all ratings out of a 5-point system as opposed to a 10. But 4.4 is the equivalent of an 8.8. It also has the breadcrumbs trail, as we can see. It goes from the home, this is the home, to food is the category, and then you're in the post. As we could see, everything is marked up as it should be. The review, the breadcrumbs, the ratings, the articles, and all the other recommended articles that are either here or are recommended, and they're properly marked up. This is a very well-made theme. It has a lot of schema markup and it does it all in the right places. But let's take another one that I was looking at just for the sake of a design. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type in Engine. Engine is a beautiful theme. It's meant for large sites, but it doesn't have proper schema markup. And I've talked to the developer and he is working on putting a lot more into it, but I don't think he's done anything now, so I think it's a good example. As we can see, it's a very complex theme. You click on, you have post, lots of content. It's meant for a lot of busy sites. If you have a news, all of these are completely movable. It has a lot of stuff to it. But I want to show you what it looks like on the home page. The home page just has the URL. This is the image. It has no schema markup whatsoever. Even though it says it's SEO optimized, it actually is not. It's just saying that because it's WordPress, it's SEO optimized. It doesn't have any schema markup, and the developer is working on it. I did bring it up, and he said he was working on it, and it probably will be released in the next update. The fact of the matter is, though, it misses out on a huge chunk of that. While it looks really good, it looks better than this in my mind, because this is great for a simple blog. This one's meant for a huge site that has lots of content and in-depth posts. But before we all jump to conclusions, it is not bad by any measurable standard. In fact, it is probably better from a review standpoint than your other posts. And that is because when we come over here, we have a positives and negatives, then your rating, and then a bottom line. And then you have an overview. That is the most, Industrial Themes has the best review, the built-in review system of any theme on the market. I will stand by that. They have the best system. They have user reviews. So if I want to put 10, 10, and then 10, okay, now it's gotten, I've put my thought in, and it allows the users to rate, and then you have your rating. They have the best review system, very well formatted. You have a positives and a negatives, and it just looks really good. Not only that, but all the criteria is pre-written, so you decide the criteria beforehand. It'll always be saved in your database, and therefore when you want to go to make a review post, you could pull in the criteria. But I don't want to do any more plugging in of this theme because I want to get back down to the schema. As we can see, it does exactly right. It does a proper 9.2 out of 10 rating. The other theme put it in a star rating, and it was doing out of a 10 as in this one. However, this one was using stars. It was using bar graphs, a score rating as opposed to a star rating. This theme uses all three of them, and I want to show you an example if I could find them. We have a lot of reviews. That one was out of 10. This one uses a grading rating, as I'll call it. And as you can see, it defaults to a 79%. Because letter ratings don't actually exist in Schema, but it uses in a letter grade scale. This one is technically not, this one is technically not a perfect score. In fact, its rating is much lower than its grading, only because of the fact that it's probably trying to average these two out. And then I want to see if I can grab another one that uses a star rating as opposed to the other ones. Not all their reviews. And this is a star rating. As we saw in the other one, it was using the schema for it, yes, but it wasn't doing it properly. This one is a proper star rating. It puts the stars like it should, and it puts a rating of 4.5 out of 5. While you wouldn't see much of a difference from a user, the fact of the matter is that it was improperly marked up. This thing does have really good review schema, and it does mark up the tags. However, it misses out on the fact that it just completely misses with proper schema markup all over the place. And it's not hard to implement it. The developer is going to implement it because that was a big issue, and I had a long drawn out debate with him over it. And he's like, he eventually he agrees with it because everything needs to be marked up properly. You can have the best looking website on the internet, and if it's not marked up and you're not generating traffic, what's the point? So just because a site says 150 best, use your tools. The Google structured data tool is your friend. Go for ones that has proper schema markup. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's going to sell well. It's not going to do well for you. And I've also had a good topic over whether not Buddy Press, whether BB Press was going to be changed. And he's working on not only improving the shop, but as well as the forums, because it doesn't have as good of a theme as this one. This one has a better example of how a store should look, if I can find it. Let me just type it in. Because it uses the featured products. And it has some text. It also has a forums which will not show up because they did not upload the file to this website, not to their demo, but they have properly done a forum like they did in a newspaper, where if you come over the top of the forums, you're going to have a new formatting that looks downright wonderful. As long as it loads properly, which it should, and I don't know why it won't. But he is working on improving the looks of the forum, the shop, and adding schema markup. And you yourself can add schema markup if you know how. If you're a developer, you can easily submit it, and they will probably accept it. Looks like their website's having quite a few errors today. But as we can see, this is a proper looking forum. It has the categories and subcategories. This is what all forums should look like. You can debate about the forum search bar, but this is the proper layout of it. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to make this video just so that you'd understand, just because that there's a giant list of good themes doesn't mean that the user actually took the time to study them. In most cases, they're just affiliate scams. Google's smacking down a lot of sites now that are creating giant lists like that because they just simply aren't putting in any effort. They'll basically copy a sentence of the description, put a link to it, and put an image of it right there. And that's just trash. It's useless to do that. Do your own research. If a theme looks great, you can use it. It is not hard to put schema in. By any means, everyone can do it. As long as you have a basic knowledge of HTML, you will be able to add your own schema markup. You'll be able to read the PHP files, and you should be much better off. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.